Welcome to The Explainer. You ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just going through the motions? You know exactly what you do every single day, but you're not totally sure why it all matters? Well, today we're going to change that. We're diving deep into Simon Sinek's incredible framework for finding that purpose that really, truly drives you. So let's just start with a really big question, okay? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And I'm not talking about your to-do list or your alarm clock. I mean the real reason behind it all. Why do you do what you do? And maybe even more importantly, why should anyone else care? You know we've all heard that advice, right? Follow your passion. But if you're anything like me, you've probably thought, okay, but how? As Sinek points out, that advice can feel pretty impossible to act on. It's a nice thought, but what does that actually mean for you on a Monday morning? The real journey, it turns out, starts when we can tell the difference between two very powerful, but very different feelings. Okay, think about this. Happiness versus fulfillment. Happiness is awesome. It's that high you get from hitting a big goal or closing a deal, but it's temporary, right? It fades. Fulfillment, though, that's something else entirely. It's this deep, lasting sense that your work, your effort is part of something bigger than just you. See, happiness comes from what we do. Fulfillment, that comes from why we do it. So the big question is, how do we get more of that lasting fulfillment? Well, Sinek gives us this simple but honestly profound framework that explains how the most inspiring people in organizations think and act. He calls it the golden circle. So every single organization on the planet operates on three levels. The outermost layer is the what. This is the easy one. It's the product you sell, the service you offer, the job you have. Everyone knows their what, no problem. Now, if we move one layer in, we get to the how. Some people, some companies, they know their how. This is their secret sauce, right? Their unique process, their values. It's the stuff that makes them special or sets them apart from the competition. But right there, at the very center of it all, is the most important piece, the why. And here's the kicker. Very few people or organizations can clearly tell you what their why is. And listen, this is not about making money. That's just a result. Your why is your purpose, your cause, your core belief. It is the very reason you or your company even exists. And here's where it gets really cool. This golden circle idea, it's not just some clever business concept. It's literally mapped to our brains. The what corresponds to our neocortex, the rational, analytical part of our brain that understands facts and language. But the why and the how, they speak directly to our limbic system. That's our feeling brain. It's responsible for trust, loyalty, and all human behavior, all decision-making. And get this, the limbic system has no capacity for language. It's where gut feelings come from. It's why something can just feel right, even when we can't put it into words. And this explains everything about how inspiring leaders communicate. See, most of us communicate from the outside in. We start with what we do. But the truly inspiring leaders and brands, they do the exact opposite. They start with why. Then they talk about how they do it. And only then do they share what they do. Sinek's famous line says it all. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Okay, so if starting with why is so incredibly powerful, how in the world do you find yours? Well, here's the secret. You don't invent it. You discover it. Your why is already there. It's fully formed and it's hiding in plain sight in the stories of your past. Think about it. Your why was shaped by the big moments, the defining memories of your life, and most of it was locked in by the time you were in your late teens. So to find it, you have to look backwards. To really see this in action, let me tell you a quick story from the book about a guy named Steve. So one of the book's authors is on a flight, and he sits next to this guy, Steve, and for over 20 years, Steve's job has been selling a very, very pure form of steel. Sounds pretty boring, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, Steve could easily explain what he sold, this pure form of steel. No problem. And he could tell you how it was better. It made parts lighter, more efficient. But when he was asked why any of that really mattered to him, he totally blanked. He just couldn't answer. The author pushed him with that one simple, powerful question. So what? And that little question forced Steve to dig way deeper than just the features and benefits of his product. He had to think about what had really driven him for 23 years. And slowly, the real reason started to bubble up. And then it hit him. Steve realized he didn't sell steel. Not really. He was advancing a cause he cared deeply about, being a responsible steward of our planet for the next generation.
The steal? That just happened to be the tangible way he brought that powerful why to life.
Steve's story is so great because it shows us that our why is found by looking back. And the book lays out this really clear, practical path so that any of us can do exactly what Steve did on that airplane. It's basically a 3-step journey. First, you gather specific, emotional stories from your life. The big wins, the tough losses, the moments that really shaped you. Second, you find a partner. This is key because you need an outside perspective. And together, you look for the recurring themes. And third, you draft a simple statement that captures your unique purpose.
So all this work, all this digging into your past, it all comes down to a single powerful sentence. And we're not talking about some corporate mission statement full of buzzwords nobody understands. No, this is a simple, clear, and actionable declaration. It becomes your filter for making decisions, the ultimate gut check for whether an opportunity is right for you.
The final why statement fits into this beautifully simple format. To do this so that this happens. The first blank is your contribution, the action you take for others. And the second blank is the impact you want that contribution to have on the world. It's direct, it's clear, and it connects what you do to why it actually matters. And this, right here, is why all of this is so important. Knowing your why isn't just a neat little exercise in self-discovery. It is the source of inspiration that pulls people to your cause. It's about having the clarity to build the world you imagine, and inspiring others to want to help you build it. So I guess the only question left is, what contribution will you make to create the impact you envision?